Hey everyone, welcome to home vlog number 9, where I'm going to give you a behind the scenes tour of the equipment that we use. It's one of the most commonly asked questions that we get on our comments is, what camera do you use? I love the picture. How do you keep your camera so stable? Do you use a gimbal? Well, we're going to answer all those questions here today and give you a little bit of a tour of the studio that we have here set up at home. But it might actually be easier if I just grab the camera right here and take you along for the ride. So let me show you a little bit of what we got here. We got our lights. This is 2 light boxes that we have, and that's what we use here in the home since we knew that we were going to be kind of stuck here for a while. So we decided to invest in one of those. I think we got those from B&H online. A nice camera store. If you need camera accessories, highly recommend. But yeah, I kind of laid out some of the equipment that we use. I have several cameras, so let's take a look. So what you'll see here is a lot of GoPro accessories. In fact, I've got 4 GoPros. I've got a Hero 5, a Hero 7, and 2 Hero 8s. And in fact, the Hero 5, which is right here, is what we shot our Savannah vlogs with, and was the first camera that we had that we shot, I think it was like 8 videos with. So this was definitely all reliable, and we keep it around because it's never a bad thing to have multiple shots. That's actually one of the reasons why I have all these GoPros, is that's how we get you all those cool shots of us on Castaway Key on our bikes and on the jet skis and at the wild Florida safari trek. It just makes for a more cinematic shot and you have more flexibility. And then this is the Hero 7. So the Hero 7 was actually the camera we've shot the most with. The Hero 7 was also used for the fantasy vlogs that are our most popular videos. And I want to say we used it all the way up until the Dream. And I think I even used it on the Dream playlist videos. Then I want to say, I think it was right when we got back, we started using the Hero 8. And the Hero 8 took some adjustments. I actually like it a lot now. In fact, I have 2 of them. But it took me a while to get used to it. It does shoot in 4K. I believe the other one does as well. The image stabilization on this camera is better than the previous iterations. And that's what I love most about it. So a lot of people ask us, you know, do you use a gimbal? When we're using these cameras, the GoPros, we do not use a gimbal. The image stabilization is just that great on the camera. So definitely a great addition to the group. And we got a second one. I actually ordered the second one because we were supposed to go on a ziplining adventure on our cruise that didn't happen. And I wanted to get 2 cameras, one for Jen and one for me. But now I just have an extra camera. We have 2 different sticks that we use. This is just the traditional GoPro 3-way mount. It is okay to take to the parks because it does not extend. I do have a little tripod that spins out of here. It's actually stored inside it, so that's how we're able to do a lot of the food vlogs, or when I'm tasting food and I'm by myself. This is what we use at Castaway Key. It's a floaty stick, and what's nice is that if it does go in water, it points upward with the orange part sticking out of the water, so you can easily spot it. Very cool. And now that we have 2 cameras, it's good to have 2 sticks. New additions to my accessories are the suction cup mounts, which is what we used on the wild Florida video. We just suction cupped them to my windows, and there's been some uses for these that we've found over the time that are beneficial. So you can never have too many of these accessories. Actually, you can. I actually have a lot of accessories, and I have to have a huge giant bag to carry them. But this is the wrist mount. The wrist mount is what we use on roller coasters. I've used that on several roller coasters at SeaWorld because you do have to have a mount of some kind. That is what we typically use. I think we even used that at Busch Gardens when we rode all the roller coasters in that single day. That is a chest mount. I have not used that in any of the vlogs, but I figured if we ever do any I don't know, extraneous activities, it could be useful. That is our Canon G7X Mark II. I found that the biggest problem with our GoPros is that at night they were terrible. The sensor is not good at night. It does not have good night vision. So during the day, this is typically what we'll use. It's small, compact, and shoots a great picture. However, at night, it is not our camera that we choose to go with. That would be the G7X Mark II. And you'll see that I've got the little microphone covered up. I believe we got that on Amazon. The Røde mic, which is what we have here, is what I use. It's a lapel mic. It's what I used for the videos at Busch Gardens on the roller coasters and at SeaWorld. Just because you're going at a high rate of speed, you don't have the good audio, all you get is wind. So I got a lapel mic, and that you'll see me wearing that in roller coaster videos. That is what we use to attach to the GoPro, but I'll tell you how we do that because the GoPros do not have an external adapter, so we have to buy an additional piece to make that work. This right here is the traditional mic we've used for about 90% of our videos. It's a very simple omnidirectional mic, and it plugs into the side, and I'll show you how that works in a moment, but basically what I love about it is that I can flip it based on who is talking. So if I'm talking, I could have it this way. If Jen's talking, we can flip it that way. Problem with this mic is it picks up everything around it. So something we've been experimenting with, audio. It's always one of those things that I can never seem to get just right, so obviously it takes practice, but that is something that we use a lot of. SD card case, you can never have too many SD cards. You'll see me take this on the cruises, and typically what I'll do is based on how many cruises or cruise days I have, I'll go ahead and count out the amount of cards, and that'll be day 1, day 2, day 3, and so forth, so I keep it somewhat organized. These are cases for the GoPro. They're actually third-party, made by Ulanzi, and this is the case that we used for the 7. And the reason I liked this case is because you'll see there's a cavity in the bottom there. That's because this piece goes inside there, and that is actually where you plug the microphone. So since GoPro did not install a audio input, they sold this guy as an adapter, and there was no easy way to have this box sitting around the camera. It would be like hanging around the side. So Ulanzi came up with a case where you just slide it in, and then you can slide the microphone into that input. So you just pop it in, just like that. And it usually will sit inside, and then I can flip this based on who is talking. Just keep in mind an omnidirectional picks up everything, so it's not always best for crowded theme parks. Of course, you've got 7 batteries. You can never have too many of those. GoPro, the Hero 8, it seems, especially when it's shooting in 4K. Some people ask why we don't shoot in 4K anymore. There was only like 3 or 4 videos that we shot in 4K. It just chews up the battery. So we just decided to go back to 1080p. Maybe someday for special occasions we'll do a 4K, but typically we'll shoot with 1080p because it's easier to edit, quicker to edit, and it doesn't chew through the batteries as much. Battery chargers. I highly recommend if you're doing something on a cruise, like with a lot of electronics, get one of these. It's a USB hub port made by Blackweb. I can't remember how much it was, but it was a really good deal, and since cruises don't let you bring a surge protector on, that's the next best option to be able to plug in all your electronics. And then you'll see right here, this is it's technically a handlebar mount or a roll bar mount for the GoPro. I've used this several times for time lapses. So on the cruise, I think it's the Fantasy Cruise, we're leaving Port, Cozumel, and I had this on a time lapse, and keeps it stable, so definitely useful there. And then these are a new addition. So GoPro came out with the Media Mod not too long ago, and the Media Mod allows for kind of correcting that issue, because this was never fun to have around, and they didn't want to lose customers to third party. They came out with a media mount, and you slide the Hero 8 inside of here, and it gives you an omnidirectional speaker or omnidirectional microphone. I have not played with this too much. The one time I did, it messed up the audio, which would be in the cooking, I believe it was the first cooking video of us making the churro tots, which is why we had that audio malfunction. So this is going to need some more further testing before I implement it on all the cameras. Can never have too much storage, and in this case we have a GoPro Casey is what it's called. You can kind of manipulate the inside with these little dividers to kind of store what you need, and then here's a waterproof casing. That's typically where I'll put the SD cards. And that pretty much sums up the major equipment that we use, but there is one camera that we have not mentioned yet. So as you might know, Jen is a photographer and her favorite brand is Canon. And she actually owns this Canon 80D, and we don't really use it for vlogging purposes, however, just because it's so big. However, we have been using it for the home vlogs, and I'm very impressed with the picture quality on it. It's a great all-around camera. I know they just came out with the 90D. I haven't looked at the specs at that, but this is a fantastic camera that we use mostly for home vlogs. And the audio, it's got a cold shoe mount at the top for the big microphone, and actually I've got that. So here it is right here. I believe it's called the Røde Go, I think is what it is, but it comes with this adapter that's supposed to block out a lot of the shakiness, and a huge dead cat, which is what that's called, to help block out some of the wind. But this will either plug into the top of the Canon to give us good audio, or it will plug into the top of the newer media mods. You'll see that the media mods actually have a cold shoe adapter, so we could slide it onto there, but that defeats the point of having something small. So we usually leave this for home vlogs. So yeah, that pretty much sums up the camera equipment that we use. Now I'll show you some of the stuff that we use around the house for our in-home studio for video editing and whatnot. So one of the neatest things that we own is this Manfrotto. It's a Manfrotto Tripod. And what's great is it's kind of made, I don't want to say for vlogging, but it is made for video purposes as well. It comes with a little button that attaches to the bottom of the camera, which is what this one's currently on right now. And then you just slide it into this top here and then lock it down, and then you just turn this knob and you can kind of rotate it around as you please. We use this for the for most of our home vlogs, and then we also did it recently for the cooking vlog, or what's cooking with the tourist trek, when we made the drop biscuits. Just adds for a more stable video quality. And it folds up into a really small tripod, which is awesome. So yeah, that kind of gives you a little bit of an inside scoop on what we do there. Jen's sitting this one out.
Yeah.
She's sitting this one out. She did a lot of cooking, so she's taking a break. I gave her the night off.
Oh,
so
thank you.
She's playing games tonight. So tonight, you're with me, and we're gonna go look at some of the stuff that I edit on. I usually use iMovie. I use a Mac. We have a iMac, and we have a MacBook Air that we usually use to edit. You can actually see we still have our happy birthday balloon from our happy birthday celebration 1 year with the tourist trek. So this is typically where I do any of my edits on this computer here. We got a Mac. And this is where I kind of do my edits on every video. So usually the night before a video drops, I will usually be sitting here at this computer doing fine-tuning every little detail. I watch it like 3 or 4 times. Sometimes Jen watches the video, or she'll edit and then I'll double check. But it gets viewed about 3 or 4 times before we actually post it to YouTube, just to make sure there's no errors, no rough cuts or anything like that. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. You just kind of do. Yeah, if you've ever used iMovie before, it's a very easy software. I have entertained the idea of maybe trying out Final Cut Pro. I might do that. It's just very expensive. So in the meantime, I can do just about everything I want to do on iMovie. For being a free software on Apple computers, it gets the job done. But oh, the video everyone loves. One day we'll be back. So yeah, iMovie makes it very easy. You could jump from video to video. That's how I go back and get a lot of my older video archives that we kind of toss in as reference in some videos. And yes, you are looking at that correctly. I am currently building a blooper reel for season 2. Obviously, you know, we don't plan for bloopers, so as they happen, I add them to this video. So maybe one day we'll have a blooper reel to share with you guys. I know a lot of people asked for it. Maybe one day. So yeah, basically that's a little bit of a peek behind the curtain. And to see kind of the equipment we use and the software we use for editing. I know that's been asked a lot. Brandon, what software do you use? Do you actually edit it all yourself? Yeah, Jen and I both do our own editing. We actually enjoy it. It's probably one of the things I enjoy most is the editing. So if you like that video, be sure to hit the video directly above our heads. That's actually our most popular video, Disney Cruise Vlog 1. That video over there is a video that YouTube recommends for you. And Jen, I know you're playing Animal Crossing, but if you want to join our adventures, tell them what to do.
Hit that subscribe button and make sure to hit that notification bell.
So until next time, see you real soon.